Alright, we are just going to jump right in. What we are building today is my childhood home, the one my parents bought when I was in about the 5th grade. And honestly, this was probably one of the hardest builds I've done. I have done a few builds from floor plans, but this one has a lot of angles and an archway, like a curved archway through to the front door. And that was really hard to do. So I kind of improvised, and you'll see what I have done here, and I'll talk a little bit about my childhood, I guess. Just, I don't know, how I lived in the home. But you can see I'm just kind of trying to get the actual floor plan down, and the angles by the front door kind of give me a little bit of a hard time. So there's a couple key features that we all loved about the home. The catwalk upstairs is really unique. And I don't add catwalks in The Sims, and I just never think about it. But when I decided to make this one, I was like, wait, why am I not doing more catwalks where it's open on both sides down to the bottom floor? And my Sims can just like walk across the catwalk. I don't know. I've done a few catwalks in like malls, but I never put them in homes. So that was one feature we all really loved about this home. And we would like, me and my brother, well, my parents did too, but we would all throw our laundry because the laundry was downstairs, and the top floor just consisted of our 3 bedrooms. So we would just like throw our laundry off the side, and that was fun. Another really interesting feature about this home is that it has a fireplace, but it kind of like wraps around a corner, so it's both a little bit in the dining room and a little bit in the living room, and it's just really weird. And doing that in The Sims, I think that this floor plan really just posed like a lot of different challenges between the catwalk, um, being open to down below. The roofing was kind of weird. The angles in the home, I might have already said that. The fireplace, the archway. So yeah, there was just a lot of things to take into consideration while I was doing this build. I guess I can kind of start with a history of the home. So this home is in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is where I was born. So it's, kind of a desert home. It was built in 1997, which I guess would be the year that my parents bought it, because they bought it. So I guess that would be 1997, 1998-ish. I was in the 5th grade, so I don't really recall the date specifically. But I do know they bought it new. Originally, there was carpet in the main rooms, like the living room, and really only the kitchen and bathrooms were tiled. But at some point, my dad put in like wood laminate flooring throughout the whole house. They actually did quite a few different projects during the time that we lived there. One of the ones that was probably the funniest project was we had our countertop, and you'll see in this floor plan, you'll see when I start working on the kitchen, but it had the countertop with the sink on it, and then a bar. So it's like a raised, like a higher than normal counter height bar section, and that went the full length of that counter. My mom wanted it to be flat so that, it could be one larger flat surface. And at one point, she just came in, like one weekend. She had talked about the project several times. They were going to do it at some point, but she kind of just got the itch and came into the house with a hammer and just like started breaking the tile apart. And she was like, oh, well, guess this is this weekend's project. So we had that. That was a really big change in the kitchen. It really opened it up to the dining space. And the kitchen and dining space is pretty, it wasn't small. It was small. It was a small space. We could fit our dining table, like, with plenty of seating around it in there. And actually, at one point, I think we had a piano and a bench too, but it was, it was tighter. And then the kitchen was just like a U kitchen, and it was just, just the U. And having the high bar separate the kitchen and the dining room it made it feel tighter, I guess. And especially if you wanted to put like bar stools. At one point we had bar stools for the bar and the table, and that was just, it was too close from the back door, because there was a sliding glass door, the dining room space, and then immediately the bar and the kitchen. And if you wanted to try to put the dining table, you had to put it enough feet away from the screen door, but also not crowd the bar stools. And there just wasn't enough space for that. So by her knocking that down and opening that up, it just visually was, a much wider space. And then we didn't end up having bar stools right there. So it just really made it a much more like usable small space. And then another project that my dad worked on was building a mantle around the fireplace. I spoke already about how the fireplace was a little bit unique because it wrapped around one of the walls, the wall from the living room, where it turned to enter the dining room. It wrapped around that section, and he built a mantle to go around the fireplace, and that just made it look really, it made it stand out a little bit more. It was very pretty. Obviously decorating it, having a space to set things, and my mom always had like these little Christmas villages and just, flower vases, picture frames and all that. But obviously, like, my first thought whenever I decorate a fireplace is like, how is this gonna look during the holidays? And having that there was awesome. It was also a place that we could actually hang the stockings rather than like place them on a shelf on top of the fireplace. It just became a permanent shelf. So that was a really nice feature too. I think overall they added a lot to the house throughout my childhood, and it was just really cool seeing those projects being done, especially with how much DIY my parents did. My dad was very handy and could do most projects, and then my mom is a great painter, and visually she can kind of like come up with a project, and she could tell my dad what she wanted, and I think that they just, ended up putting those things together really well. Real quick tangent, I'm gonna play a clip that I ended up recording of my child talking to me. It was very funny, so I thought I'd share.
Egg dumplings? Uh-huh. You like those? I would try them, but yeah, dumplings do have vegetables. Those are regular dumplings. But dumplings have vegetables and and those are fried snack peas. Yeah, I want those. Not shrimp, tasty chip legs. Shrimp chip legs. What's tempura? Yeah, I would like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just found that hilarious, so I thought I'd share. But, back to the build. Another space that they worked on continually and a lot, and it kind of evolved over the years, was the backyard space. At first it was just a dirt lot, and at one point my dad was really into like RC cars, and so he just went out there and he built himself an RC track with all the dirt that was back there, because it was the desert. It doesn't make sense to put like just grass back there. You can't really water that and keep it alive and still be water, like, Nevada's very good at being water conservative and promoting that and promoting like a water conservation message. So my entire life was, when you brush your teeth, turn the water on, wet your toothbrush, turn the water off, brush your teeth, turn the water on, rinse your toothbrush, turn the water off, brush your teeth, turn the water on, turn the water off, turn the water on, turn the water off. And I think that it was just like hounded just because, there was not a lot of water in Vegas. And it's actually a big current issue right now. Lake Mead, the lake that Vegas gets a lot of their water from, or all of the water, I don't know, is really drying up. So it's a big issue. Anyways, what that meant is it's not the smartest choice to put grass in your backyard. So we really just utilized it the best we could until my parents kind of, decided to do something that was a bit more permanent with it. So the first thing he did really was the RC track. And then at one point they had gotten like an above ground pool, but instead of just putting it above the ground, my dad, we spent months maybe, I don't know, weeks, probably just weeks, not months, digging like a 6-foot hole in the backyard just so that we could drop the like above ground pool into it. And again, we dug the hole. We didn't have anybody else come out. We just dug it ourselves and got that up there, and that was pretty fun. We had that for a couple of years. And then my dad ended up pouring concrete out there, making a patio space. We extended the driveway all the way back so that he could have a space, or just we could have extra space for like, I don't know, working on grungy stuff. I don't know, just workshop-y kind of things. But it was outside along the long strip next to the house, just behind the gate instead of out in the front. He covered all that with concrete and kind of wrapped it around the house so that there was like a, patio out there. And then he added, pillars and did some lattice work. And pretty much he had other people helping him, but between him and my mom, they really had a lot of different visions and made a whole bunch of changes, and then they just did it themselves. So you can see right here where the high part of that countertop stayed high, and then there's like a lower section. That's the part that they lowered. And then they kept like that small little area as high as a high part, and we had our phone there. That was where like the phone and the answering machine and just like mail collection stuff was. The living room was really cool because of those windows there. There was like a big arched window and then several like rectangular normal windows underneath it. And it looked huge. It made that space look gigantic. And again, the space wasn't... when I was building it out in The Sims, I think that I might have accidentally made it a little too big, but I don't know how I can change that and still make it make sense with how big, like, the kitchen is, because the kitchen feels like an accurate size. The dining space feels like an accurate size, but that living room there does not feel accurate. So it feels too big. So I'm not really sure, like, how I would change that or where I kind of mess up. There I am messing with the countertops. I was trying to get it. You see, I have people in there. I was playtesting some of the sinks, but then I realized I don't know. I'm not good at doing those workarounds, especially with the sinks. I don't know, I was trying to do like the basement tool and pop it up underneath and make it work, but it just wasn't happening. So eventually we did put, it wasn't concrete that we poured in the backyard. They laid bricks, so it was like pavers back there. And then that side was all concrete. But he added a deck to, like, it's just the top and so the roof on the, like, the patio cover, they made sure that when they built that, it was really sturdy, and we actually would climb either out my parents' window or climb up a ladder, and we'd just hang out, watch fireworks. It was a nice space. It was a nice space to just go up there and do whatever, especially 4th of July. Like, in Vegas, you have the Strip that always puts on a good, like, fireworks show. So we would just get up there and we could see the fireworks going off. That was pretty cool. And then they did put a big tree back there eventually. The tree was in the same spot. That's where the pool was before. And so they filled that hole back up, and that's pretty much where the tree is. So. I just used that window shopping fence to line the bricks in white. I actually really liked doing that. I think it just gave it a little bit of, maybe I shouldn't have chosen white, but that's what I went with. I actually should probably move this. My plan is to move this lot, move the house onto a different lot, because I realized that I kind of need a little bit more space. Again, I don't think that I spaced it out correctly, but it feels right. Like, when I look at it, it feels like the right amount of space, except for the living room. I don't know, but I couldn't put that fence all the way around, and our backyard was definitely bigger than what it looks in this game, so I don't know. That planter box, we would grow strawberries and garlic and onions, and then we just had flowers there. We did a lot of gardening. My mom likes to garden a lot. This space here for the laundry room, I actually really loved in our house because, one, the laundry, the washer, and the dryer were on opposite sides, and I could just open both doors, and you just do like a swivel motion, and it was so easy. I love doing that over side by side. I don't know what it is about side by side, but like, I don't know, I'm short and I can't reach into a top loading washer anyways. It's a real pain. I'm always on my tippy toes. I'm halfway in. I almost disappear. And it's really hard. So having it front load and having it back and forth, you just open both doors and just shoot from one side to the other. And it was amazing. I really loved, like, as an adult, thinking back on it and having lived in like my own houses now, and in my house that I bought, the first house that I bought, my laundry room, it's a good size, but the washer and dryer were right next to each other. My washer was also a top load, so it was just, it's just a pain. This, I'm trying to work. I was trying to work on fireplace here. I don't know how to do it. If you guys have any ideas for how to do like a wraparound fireplace, like send them to me. The best I got is this, and it's fine, but it's not how it looks. Another cool feature is that pantry there. It served as both like the support beam and our pantry for the kitchen, and then on the opposite side was our TV. It was a really well-used space. Like everything about the house was just very, just well used. We did have a sectional. I tried to decorate this as close to what I remember there being as far as furniture wise. I didn't like go in and put, everything. But I remember we didn't put the couch all the way against the window. And then we would have a chair, like a lazy boy type style, a recliner, over in this corner here. And we'd always have like a basket of blankets or just things, pillows. But instead of doing a basket of blankets, which I don't know if they have that in The Sims, I kind of looked, but I didn't spend too much time looking for that. I saw it was like a knitting cart or something, and we are big artists. My mom loved to paint, my brother and myself, we really enjoy different art. So I put that back there because we always did have a cart of like art supplies out or ready to be pulled out. So, and we would always tuck things back behind that recliner. I really tried to make the catwalk accurate, but I think I got a few things wrong. I know there was a few landings, like, I don't know, pieces under the window that we couldn't access. It was like blocks. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like, I don't know, being unnecessary wall shelving. And I did end up putting one in there, but now that, like, after I finished it, I was rethinking about it, and I think that there were a few more. So that piece right there, it was like a little shelf, and we would put things on there, like plants, or sometimes we would stand on it and hang out over there. Really safe things to do. So, and then that little piece from the molding on the outside, I could not get that to not clip. I don't know what I was doing, so that's just like that. This bathroom was hard because it was a pretty, like, I remember it being a tight bathroom, and it did have a curved, like a triangular counter space. That's how it ended, was in like kind of a, like at an angle. And we have one counter space that is like that, I think in the home decorator pack. And I tried to use it, it took me a long time to mess with, but I did finally get it the way that I remember it. Pretty close. Close enough. This right here is my room. It was the one in the front. And I put my desk in did I take the doors off? I don't know if I took the doors off completely. I don't remember. I might not have taken it off completely, but that's what I did, is I put like my desk, or I put my dresser. I put other things in there because they were really small rooms. They were like 10 by 10s. So I had a large bed, I had enough for like some shelving and some books because I really enjoy reading and I enjoy art. And in high school, I had a guitar, so I put a guitar in here when I was decorating it. And then my walls, I went with orange because I had an orange sunset, and then I realized that there was like a sunset wallpaper. So I added that, and it was like those colors. They were like pink and orange and mostly orange, not as pink. And then I tried to find a sunset picture because I had a giant sunset mural. It looked really piratey in my room, but I had a giant bed that I had to use like step stool to get on top of because I am short. And then I added the moon picture and the guitar because these are things that I just really like. My computer because I, like the computer. I like to write. I'm very simple. I like music. I like art. I like, moon stuff. And then this would be my brother's room, and he also is very into music and drawing, and I decided to put the keyboard in here because he really likes to play, or at least in high school, he would play a lot of he was good at making music, and I thought the keyboard was a fun choice just because of how versatile making music with keyboards is. His room, when he was younger, had like a big a moon with the Earth mural on it. So I added a whole bunch of posters of just things. I don't know. I just tried to make it like, I don't know, like a young teens kind of music, electronic. He also played the guitar, but I did not put a guitar in his room. I gave him the keyboard instead. Oh, this is the bathroom part. Yeah, this part. Oof. I fumbled with it, man. I think I finally got it. Like I said, I got it to where it's fine. It's close enough to, especially with the again, the angles of this, between trying to do the catwalk right here, and then I know that's where our bathroom wall was, so like, I don't know. I don't know if maybe I just didn't have enough, like, wide enough space or what, but. And then our bathroom, I remember it was decorated a lot with like, we did a lot of like seashells and blues, so that's what I did. Simple. I didn't over decorate it. I was really trying to mess with the floor plan mostly, and I just kind of wanted to throw things in there that were kind of how we decorated. And then this one's my parents' room. That Van Gogh bed is like super cool. I didn't realize that that's a swatch, and when I saw it I got really excited about the other swatches of that bed, and then they're like not that interesting, but the Van Gogh one is crazy cool. So my parents really liked big furniture. They were fans of large dressers and like armoires, and I remember we had this computer hutch that was gigantic. It closed, I think, on itself, so you could like close it all up, and everything was always really tidy in our house, but it was still like very lived in. It was very interesting. We had a lot of like sneaky storage places that we could just like throw things for when people came over so that it would look really, really tidy, but it was still definitely, like we very much lived in it. It wasn't like always spotless, but when I was decorating this, I was like, man, we really did have a lot of like cool tricks, like the floor plan was just great for like, I don't know, just like hiding things behind, like the pile of blankets in the living room. Like that makes it very cozy, but also you don't really want that seen all the time if you have guests over, so you just like throw it behind and you actually like, we can't see it. So I don't know, this house was sneaky, I guess. So when I remembered the computer, I went ahead and put the big desk in here too. And I think that's about where it was originally. And then we did end up getting rid of it at some point. I don't know what we did with it. Looking at it now, it still looks like there's just like a little bit too much space in like this room. But again, I don't know how to shrink that down and still have the downstairs make sense. So I'm not sure. The walk-in closet looks like it's about the right space, like the right size. And their walk-in closet was kind of cool because they always had like, I don't know, it was full. It was always full of stuff. They utilized the space really well. This bathroom is also kind of interesting. Again, like I've lived in a few houses since moving out, and I've never seen like another bathroom kind of like this one where there's like the master closet right across from the sinks, and then you have to like kind of take a turn to go into the bathroom, the bathtub, and then there's a door to a single space toilet area. And I put dual sinks here. I think I was re-looking at the pictures. I think that it was actually one sink, but still a long counter. So, oops. But so yeah, that's pretty much like that's my childhood home. That archway in the top. I didn't know what to do. I just threw an archway, but it gives the look of it. So yeah, and then we had a cute cherry tree, like a cherry plum. It wasn't cherry, it was plum. I had a plum tree. Yeah, so that was my childhood home, and I kind of plan to make the first home that I bought. I am really excited about it because it's a 3-story, so I might go work on that. And I will see you guys a different day. Bye.